Last week on Everybody Has a Podcast.
Today in the food reviewer, we'll be reviewing food gushers. I have had these before, and they're okay. I haven't had them in a while. It's probably December, I don't know. I'm just gonna go right in the review for the normal one. Ooh. Yeah, these are definitely a buy. I mean, I'm trying to bite into one. And the juice comes out. Yeah, definitely buy fruit gushers. 6 in one box. Sorry guys, only one package. I'll put it on. Thank you for watching.
Hawaiian Islands to Orient, contact clearance level 126.5.
And Chalk 6 is taking fire. Okay, convert south of the river. I see you come to the breakers, and I just called them. You should see them well.
Since the dawn of the first age, by the elders it was foretold, a mighty cure that would rise when needed most. Their words would inspire enlightenment among the common. As it was prophesied, it has come to pass. Everybody has a podcast.
What is up, everybody? It is yet another episode of Everybody Has a Podcast. Woo! Woo! Yeah, baby. Bring the pain. Bring it. I'm Ryan. Joining me tonight, as always, is my life partner. Met him on Craigslist. I love this guy, Mr. Clark Keller. How's it going, man?
Chubby male looking for scrawny white girl.
17F,
you answered.
17F Texas. This is episode 6 of Everybody Has a Podcast. We're closely getting to episode number 10, Clark. We need to celebrate, man.
Yeah, we've ordered party hats, but that's about it.
Did you know that if you order fat girls with the party hats, it costs way extra?
Well, yeah, and plus you have to feed them. That's really the hidden cost associated with fat girls.
That's true, man. You think on the surface you'd realize that, but you just really don't know once you get down to it.
There's too much surface to think about.
Everybody check out our website, everybodyhasapodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/everybodyhasapodcast. Also, hey, tweet us, twitter.com/everybodypod. If you go to our website in the very top right, there's a nice, pretty picture of Steve Jobs, and it's an Audible ad. Click on that thing, and what I want you to do is help us out a little bit. Just sign up for a free trial of Audible. Audible's online books that they read to you. So if you spend time in the gym, in the car, it's worth your time. Honestly, myself, I do, on a good day, an hour and a half each, getting to work and back every day. So it sucks, man. And just that rush hour traffic just kills you. Fortunately for me, there's a lot of podcasts I like. Also, there's Audible. A lot of great books to check out.
So is Audible just an audio file, or is it actually the book that you can read while listening?
So it's their app. And so, yes, you buy your book, and then you click on it and read, and you stop when you get to work, and you start it again when you get to the gym that day, and before you know it, you've got a boner in the gym because you've listened to 50 Shades of Grey.
Now, can you listen and read, or is it just listening?
Just listening.
Just listening. Okay, so if you're in the bathroom and you're not by yourself at work, bring some headphones.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, I've gotten to where I see more and more like people have less shame about just playing Netflix on their phone in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, they should. I mean,
Well, I mean, now a courteous person will turn the volume down. They don't turn it off. They're not embarrassed anymore.
Yeah, it definitely goes down to like number 2.
It's very apparent that Sopranos season 4 episode 3 is playing on the stall next to you as you hear grunts and plops. We are really excited. This episode of Everybody Has a Podcast, we have an awesome guest. Mr. Trent Oster is going to be joining us here shortly. Trent, one of the founders of BioWare, project lead for Neverwinter Nights. If you've played any real video games at all, I'm not talking about you Halo kiddies. I'm not talking about you Call of Duty guys with your 5 kill streaks and your perks. If you've ever played any real games, you owe it to this man. Because if you haven't played his games, you've played someone else's games that he's influenced. So I'm really excited about that, Clark, and he should be joining us here shortly.
Yeah, Trent's he is pretty much the international sex symbol of video gaming. He has a beautiful soul patch, and he knows his shit.
I concur 100%. I bet Trent looks like a guy who has a nice cargo shorts collection.
Yeah, and they're really baggy, so like he walks by fans a lot.
All right, dude, so I gotta say, something that's been getting on my nerves lately, we're getting to the age to where we're all getting real jobs. We've had real jobs. Real jobs with salaries, benefits, starting to look at retirement stuff. You're starting to get in all this game,
401k a who?
Exactly, man. But there's also this clash, because I've still got a lot of friends in their early 20s, and those are fun times. They're still in the party scene. A small number still going to school. Most of them have dropped out. But I'll get random texts or calls on, let's just say it's a Wednesday night. It's 8 p.m., I've put in 9 hours at the office. I'm at the gym because I'm trying not to fucking die of a heart attack at 32. I'm doing things an adult should do, and that's fine. I'm not bitter about this. But I'll get a text about, hey, man, we're going out drinking tonight. You want to join us? I'm like, you son of a bitch. Is it right that I get insulted that people ask? Not because I don't want to hang out with them. And I'm so glad that they're still thinking of me and they want to hang out with me. But it's like, fuck, man. No, I've got to go work tomorrow. Like, I can't do this. What are you talking about?
I don't think it's wrong that you get insulted, because there's 3 stages of employment that you'll find in your life. Stage 1 is, I work the 1 to 11 shift at, fucking Spencer's, and I can go drink my ass off on Tuesday,
Sure.
And then you get the job where you're making between $35K to about $120K a year. And that job is 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Leave me the fuck alone, and I've got weekends and some of Friday night to do my thing.
Right. And, I mean, that's kind of where most of us are now, right?
Right. Stage 3 is above 120K, and that one is, fuck, let's go get drunk on Wednesday, because I've got nothing to do. I mean, I'm really not going to do anything tomorrow.
Wait, when do we get to that level again? I'm really interested in that one.
Well, the problem is you hit that when you're around 50. Yeah, so you're getting there. Don't worry.
Does it come with a Cialis prescription?
It better.
I sound like an old asshole. I know I do, man. But yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Well, my brother, a month or two ago, it was his birthday, and he put out a big Facebook invite for everybody, and it was on a Wednesday night at like 5:30. And I said to my girlfriend, I was like, look, I'm going to go because this is my brother, and I don't like him, but I love the son of a bitch, and no one else is going to go. And, everybody was like, oh, stop it. People are going to go. Clark, no one was there. You know why? Because it was on a Wednesday night. Everyone is doing something. Like, people are busy being adults. And I felt so bad for him, but then again, it's like, you should have known this, man. Do this on a Saturday.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of danger associated with, trying to schedule anything on the weekend, first off. But problem is, on Wednesday, I'm fucking catching up on, like, Game of Thrones and, like, eating chicken strips in my underwear with my wiener dog.
Yeah, because you've put in a full day at work, and on the best of work days, you get to go straight home and just chill out, And most days, it's not even that.
Yeah, usually it's bleed over work day on Wednesday.
Right.
Just give it some time. I mean, these people eventually kind of get into this 8 to 5 thing. And everybody just kind of grows out of it in waves. And, he's your younger brother, or your younger friends. So they haven't grown into that wave. Whenever we were 22 or 23, we were like, we didn't have anything to do on Wednesday.
Yeah, those were good days, man. I'd almost go back to making, $11 an hour just so I could, have zero responsibility and just party.
Yeah.
Those
you sound
are fun
like Wayne
days.
Campbell. Just party.
This is definitely the type of place I'm going to get when I move out of my parents' house. That's my favorite Wayne's World line, man. I love it so much.
So, kind of along the same vein like family and neediness or friends or whatever, I'm a dad.
What?
Yeah, I admit it.
Did Maury confirm this?
No, that's a problem. But I have two daughters. One's about 2.5, the other one's about 3.5. Whatever. Anyways, it's kind of reaching that point to where, like, I'm dad, right? And little girls, they love their dad. It's awesome. It's fun time. They think I'm the most gnarly thing in the world because, like, I'm never tired, especially because I'm a younger dad. You know, I can go play and, you know, all that stuff. Well, recently, they've been pushing me away. So, like, now I'm starting to get that, like, dad's not cool kind of vibe already.
From a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I'm going to be really not cool because it's getting bad. So, like, some examples of this were I was walking in the Wally World, and I had the girls with me. And
as dads do.
Do what?
As dads do, man. They walk through Walmart with their children.
Yeah, they really do.
You were probably going to go get, like, baking soda or something, you know?
Yeah, and so I'm walking. Well, I was going to get wine, but whatever. I went to the wine section, and I was wearing flip-flops because that's my traditional attire whenever I'm not working.
Sure.
And my foot slips out of the flip-flop, and my oldest one, Chloe, she picks it up, and she throws it down the aisle, and she tells me my feet stink really, really loud, and everybody looks at me.
Your daughter is the Carlos Mencia of 3-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, it's not her best material, but it hit home with me because at that point I wasn't cool.
Oh, that's gold for all 3-year-olds, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. So, and usually she climbs into bed with me at like 2 a.m. because she's awake and scared, and then she'll jump and she'll like elbow drop my nutsack. It happens every morning. I'm used to it. I'm never gonna have another child because of that. Whatever.
Right.
No. Now she's like, I come in there. I'm like at 2 a.m. like, hey, you want to come sleep in Daddy's bed? Because I know you get scared. She just kind of looks at me. She's like, you know, you can see the hate in her eyes. It hurts.
Don't try so hard, old man. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know it's early in the game.
You sicken me, old man.
Yeah. I know it's early in the game, man, but I love my daughters a lot. I don't like anybody or anything, and I think there's many people that can confirm that. But I have a soft spot in my heart for my kids, and they're going to end up killing me one day, destroying me. They'll turn my love against me and destroy me.
Have you noted? So, what do you think? Is the 3.5-year-old influencing the 2.5-year-old? So, is the 2.5-year-old more advanced than the 3-year-old was at her age as far as this action?
Yeah, big time. Like she looks up to the older one like big time, and they're always doing the same thing. If I buy one toy, I have to buy two, all that kind of thing. So obviously the younger one's going to be a lot smarter, but the older one doesn't have a chance in hell. Like she was the project, and that just went south.
That's the way it works, man.
Yeah, but the younger one, if the older one's this hurtful, I'm just really terrified of what the younger one's going to start doing.
Is your heart going to be able to take it, man? I know you put on a big front, but I think you're a big softy underneath.
I mean, I'll cry in my room a lot. Like, they'll take over the house, and I'll just be in my room crying.
I don't think you stand a chance, man. I really don't.
That's why I need a son, dude. That way that he can defend me, but no, he would do something too. Don't have kids, guys. I guess what I'm getting at. It's not worth the heartache whenever they realize you're not cool.
Did you ever see that Trojan ad? And I think it was released around Father's Day, and it said, "To all of our competitors, Happy Father's Day," or to all of the users of our competitors, or something like that. It's hilarious, man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, awesome marketing.
Somebody labeled that on YouTube as commercial banned in the U.S.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Clarkster. I don't know what to tell you, man. I often think about, do I want children? And I think ultimately I do. But, man, I'm overwhelmed by how difficult I know the whole process has to be.
It's an emotional roller coaster, man. It is. I mean, all joking aside, it's extremely worth it. It's probably one of the most fulfilling things you can do. But, be prepared to, feel like you're inadequate in every way. Every time you can't do something for your kids that you want, or whatever, you just be prepared to feel like a piece of shit. You need a lot of self-confidence before you go into parenthood.
Oh, well, then never mind. I think I had self-confidence once in, 4th grade for about a month. All right, man. Well, I tell you what, I'm getting the signal from Jenny, our call screener, and she says Trent is actually on the phone.
It's going to be a good one.
Okay, well, hey, our next guest is actually, this is a really cool moment for Clark and myself, because we're uber video game nerds. So, hey, next guest, one of the co-founders of BioWare, development lead for Neverwinter Nights, all the expansions, director of technology, lead developer for the Eclipse engine, so the Dragon Age games. More recently, founder of Beamdog, which is another digital distribution service. Welcome to Everybody Has a Podcast, Trent Oster. How are you, sir?
I am good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, definitely. We really happy to talk to you. You know, how often do you get somebody coming up to you, explaining to you, you know, hey, your games changed my life, you know, huge fan. How often do you get that?
It depends if I'm wearing a T-shirt or not. If I'm wearing a T-shirt, I get it. You get it a fair amount, especially if you go to the right places, like conferences or such.
Right.
Usually get a lot of people walking up, and really, I think it's awesome how many people just had positive experiences with all the games we've made over the years. Well, we put a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of blood into those games, and we kind of made them. I mean, when we started out, we didn't really have a good idea of what kind of games we should make. So we made games that we thought we would love and hoped that there were a lot of people like us. And luckily enough for us, there was enough people like us that the games were successful.
Well, Trent, buckle up, because you are one of our heroes, and you have changed our life with your video games.
You guys need to set your sights higher. I'm not exactly hero material.
Well, so basically what we want to do is we want to talk about some of the projects you've got going on, some of the stuff you kind of did in the past. But really, my big thing is I want to start out saying I never played any of the Baldur's Gate games, anything really on the Infinity Engine, which was the older kind of Renaissance games in my opinion. I just kind of skipped over all those. My dad made me play like airport simulators on the PC. So I never really got to touch any of that, and recently I've been coming back, and I've been realizing there's just such a huge quality difference as far as story and mechanics go from back then to now. Now I feel like everything's packaged, everything's just super duper easy, and kind of, for the most part, forgettable. And I went back and I played these games, and then I started realizing, hey, like, this is no joke. This is something completely different. And so I've been talking about it like crazy to Ryan, to a lot of people that listen to us. And really, my thing was, if you can go back and you can play Baldur's Gate, that's great. But now we have something that you've Beamdog / Overhaul has come out with, this Baldur's Gate's Enhanced Edition. And do you want to explain kind of what's different about the Enhanced Edition, Trent?
I think the big thing, I mean, you mentioned that people don't develop games like Baldur's Gate anymore in terms of the depth and the character interaction and the storytelling aspects of it. And that's kind of what drove us to try and bring it back. We initially started with the idea of, well, what if we did Baldur's Gate HD? We'd go through and we'd re-render all the art out, make it look better. And partway into production, we found out that the source assets, all the original 3D models, everything were lost. So we reconceptualized around this idea of an enhanced edition, which is to take basically the best version of Baldur's Gate we could produce and then package it all up. Like with Baldur's Gate right now, if you're a fan of the modding scene, you can go in. There's hundreds and hundreds of mods, and we kind of went through a list. And if you apply about the right 30 mods, you can actually get a pretty good version of Baldur's Gate. So our goal was to kind of set out and say, you know what? Let's make the definitive best version of Baldur's Gate possible. We'll have access to the source code, so we can go in and we can actually fix bugs in the software as opposed to just patching them from a data side. We can go in, we can rework the renderer, we can leverage modern computing power, we can fix a lot of the things that were kind of broken with the game. So really the Enhanced Edition started off, our initial list was about 400 bugs that were in the original game that we had fixed. I think it's into the multiple thousands by now of original bugs from Baldur's Gate that have been fixed. We've also gone through updated all the CPU code, the networking, or all the threading code, the networking code, and we're just finishing up on a renderer pass. It's going to make a lot more of the issues we've been having with the Intel cards go away. Really, Enhanced Edition to us it's like the definitive version of Baldur's Gate. If you're interested in the game, you wanted to play it, you grab the Enhanced Edition, you can just jump in and get playing it. You don't have to mess around with stuff, and it'll be the best Baldur's Gate experience that we can deliver.
I know, from our end, from our friends and just kind of the gamer side community that we hang out with, it's been a very the response to the Enhanced Edition has been very positive. What have you gotten back from that? I know I've read some interviews from you where I was actually shocked to see how many developers actually how disheartened they can get sometimes when they get bad reviews, bad feedback on the message boards. I know it's definitely been positive on our end. Has there been anything relayed back to you that you want to comment on, or what are your thoughts on the response so far?
I think that there's kind of a mixed bag, which is people who kind of like yourself missed Baldur's Gate the first time around. They really love what we've done, and on the other side, we've got people who've spent 30, 40, 50 hours creating this perfectly modded version of Baldur's Gate, and to them, it's the perfect version because they've gone through and they've installed each specific personal mod that they like, and I think that's awesome. I think that they can go in and configure it to that level is kind of a statement of how powerful the original architecture was in terms of what you can do.
Right.
The big feedback we've been getting is that we took a great game and we've made it better, and kind of the ongoing feedback has been every patch release we fix so many issues and we make the game so much better by adding in new features and improving things that people are just ecstatic with it. I think that's one of the things I kind of like about being an independent developer is you can just be a little more honest about how things are going, and you can talk to the fans, and if you get discouraged or depressed, you can talk a bit about it. Whereas when you're part of the corporate robot scene, it's really hard to kind of emote about how you're feeling about something. You're like, I better run this by PR before I send it out. PR will be like, no, that sounds negative. It's got the word don't feel good in it. We don't do those things.
It sucks all the soul out of it, it sounds like.
Pretty much. You basically replace any kind of expression with some kind of consonant, and that's what the PR team would push out.
Well, that's what's cool is like, some of the interviews you can look up on YouTube or the gaming websites or some of the interviews you've done with other people. That's what kind of sets certain developers apart from other developers is you look at them and they're giving this interview or whatever, and it's not whenever they're talking about all the awesome things that really matters. It's whenever they're talking about the things that, hey, we're going to fix this or, whatever. Every time I've seen you in your interviews, anytime you've ever said, we've got this problem and we're trying to fix it, or this is something we're trying to address, you can see like the passion behind those statements instead of like, okay, my lawyer said I can say this.
I'm not very good at listening to PR managers and lawyers anymore. I'm just getting old and crusty, I think. But ultimately, I want to be in the business of making games because I like making games, and I like people playing the games we've made and enjoying them. And if anywhere along the line we fall off the rails and people aren't enjoying the game, we need to bust ass and fix that as fast as we can because we're hurting ourselves. And I think our whole shop really feels that. One of the driving factors behind the overhaul games kind of concept was we wanted it to be kind of like a blue-collar effort. We're a shop. We don't get too fancy. We got a bunch of people. They specialize in different things, and we all work together. And at the end of the day, I think our motto is nothing great comes out of slacking off. Everything that's awesome in the world requires a ton of hard, honest work, and that's really kind of the guiding principle behind the concept of overhaul games. Keep it simple, work hard, make something good.
I do wonder about that, and this is coming from my totally ignorant perspective, but a lot of these studios, I understand that these newer games, high costs, and you need a lot of these resources. But what are your thoughts on just too much overhead. I think that a lot of companies quickly get there, and does that inflate these prices, or what are your thoughts on all of that?
My feeling, there's a couple things. One is too much overhead. The other is just being a cog in the machine. I mean, when you've got a team of 125 guys, and you're the guy on the team that specializes in the skin shader for the alien models, you're not touching a lot of the game. And when you point to the game and you're proud of it because it's a good game, you've just got such a small window that you can point to that, hey, I did that.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, the games I've had the most fun with in my life that we've worked on are games where I can point and I can say, that 1/5 of the game, that was me. And I love that concept. And it's really kind of why after Electronic Arts, I really made the decision of, you know what, we're going to do it small. We're going to keep the team small. And kind of my internal motto is, when we hire an HR person, I quit.
Yeah, that's awesome because, I mean, really, some of the companies that put out the best games really have smaller structures, smaller teams. I mean, people aren't afraid to work their ass off as long as they can point to 40 different things, like you say, and say, that's all me. That was me, and I'll be able to say that, till the end of time. But nobody cares if you're the grass texture guy.
Exactly. And for me, what I love about games is working with smart, creative people. You'd be sitting around, you'd be bashing an idea, you'd be, hey, we could do X. And then the guy who's an expert at it grabs it, he runs off, he comes back, and he brings it back to you, and it's 5 times better than you ever thought it could be. And you're like, wow, that is so awesome. And he's like, well, it was your idea. And you're like, no, it was a shitty idea. What you made was awesome, man.
So, yeah, it seems like, and particularly with Beamdog, you are, seeing the future and embracing kind of how everything's going. So, to me, it feels like we're definitely getting a revitalization of letting people be more creative. What are your thoughts on that? Kickstarter. I mean, what are your thoughts on this and kind of how that's changing things?
Well, the game space is in a really interesting place right now. When we started out in video games, like 16 plus years ago, that was a long time ago, but you needed a publisher. In order to get your game in front of people, you needed a publisher. A publisher offered just a huge number of things that you couldn't do without them. They offered getting your game into a store, getting the physical boxes produced, the CDs duplicated, the manuals printed. They had QA teams. They had internal technical experts that could help you out. I look at nowadays, it's like, okay, well, what's the publisher offering? It's like, well, they have capital. They can fund a project. Okay, QA, no, mostly most teams are carrying internal QA now. Technical expertise, no. A lot of the publishers don't carry internal development talent anymore. Marketing, well, they're going to go out and hire a marketing firm for you, so why don't you just do it yourself? I mean, when we got into the industry, publishers offered huge benefits. Now I'm having a really hard time seeing what benefit they can add to that. And because of that, I think it's a brilliant time to be on your own and doing your own thing. And I look at Kickstarter as a platform. To me, Kickstarter is basically market proof. If you can pre-sell X amount of people on your game idea, and they're willing to fund your development through that, you've got a proven hit there. There's no question. There's no risk. There's no, we'll just spend X amount of money and try and build it, and hopefully it'll be successful like we used to do. There's proof. You're building something for a proven market already. I also think Kickstarter is an amazing tool for just awareness. A lot of projects get a lot of coverage just going up through the Kickstarter ranks and getting looked at. I think you're seeing the reemergence of a lot of small-scale teams just because all the people who got into making games because they love making games. They didn't get into it because they could be part of some AAA 100, 200-person team making the next greatest big game. A lot of guys are really creative and they want huge input into what kind of games they make. So you're seeing a lot of this disenfranchisement with the huge teams and the mega publishers and people rolling off and trying to go it on their own. And I think it's awesome.
Well, along that same vein, I mean, we've seen Kickstarter. They recently the Project Infinity. They're coming out with basically a new Infinity engine. I think that's Obsidian, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Project Eternity.
Oh, Project Eternity. Yeah, I'm sorry. And we've got a new Planescape game coming out that's been funded through Kickstarter. We've got a lot of exciting stuff, especially in the RPG space, but really in PC gaming in general. All these people are finally able just to give the middle finger to all these people that say no all the time, and that's beautiful.
Well, when you look at it from a AAA publisher standpoint, like part of existing for 2 years within the EA machine was I got to understand how the machine thinks. In order for the machine to make a decision, it takes a whole ton of high-level people to get together, and they've got to spend $500,000 getting all those people together and doing all the research and figuring out if this is the right thing to do. If it takes you $500,000 to make a decision on whether to make a game or not, and the projected market will maybe make you $2 or $3 million in profit, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it for those huge companies to chase. So as a result, they abandon huge swaths of the gaming public, saying, you know what, it's not a niche that we can fill because it's not profitable enough. Whereas super mega Battlefield Commander over here, that makes $12 million in sales. Hey, run the numbers. Yeah, it's going to make us good money. Let's go there.
So along that vein, what are we looking like as far as the future plans for Overhaul and Beamdog because of all these new ways to distribute your product? Are we looking at a Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition or possibly a Baldur's Gate 3?
We're at work right now on Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. We're cooking hard. We've radically increased the size of our team. I think we went on a rampage and hired literally half of or 2/3 of the major modders who've been working on the game for the last 10 years.
Awesome.
They're now on salary and helping us build the next thing.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a great way to recruit impassioned individuals who are technically excellent. So we're ecstatic we could bring them in, and I know they're having a lot of fun working with us. And we're in literally daily communication with the guys, going back and forth. When they find a bug, they tell us about it in the code. If they have an idea for code, we make it. We make the change if we can. It's been pretty awesome. After Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, we're still trying to figure that one out. I mean, we put a lot of work into the Infinity engine. We might want to take a ride at a Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition, possibly a Planescape Torment. I know we're talking about that right now. We haven't got anything firmly committed, but it's an interest place. Baldur's Gate 3 is interesting and terrifying at the same time.
You're living up to so much.
Exactly. like there's not going to be monumental expectations that go along with that.
Right, yeah.
You're just never going to win on those forums, on those message boards. You're never going to win. Once that game,
a beam of light doesn't shine down from heaven upon my computer when I boot this up. It's Baldur's Gate 3. That's expected.
Right, exactly. Well, and we've kind of touched on some of this in the past few questions, but let's just go with, in your opinion, right now, 2013, what is, your favorite thing? What do you think is the best thing about the current gaming industry? What do you think is the worst? What's either going to save us or what's just going to kill it?
I think the best stuff is all the indie stuff and and by indie I don't mean like all the really low budget stuff. I mean the independently produced interesting stuff that's out there.
Any ones in particular stand out to you that you like?
I had a ton of fun playing FTL.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I played that hard. I just... It made me so angry so many times, and then I'd quit, and then a day later I'd come back and I'd start poking it again. And I also think tablets are huge. I think the idea of being able to take a computer, sit at your couch, and just be messing around on a small scale computer without all the bloat and the overhead of a full-size overbloated operating system. I think I could fit bloat in there once more if I tried. But, the idea of a portable computer that's actually pretty powerful I think that's really awesome. And I think the other thing is just this growing kind of feeling of independence within game development. I mean, there was a long period there where everybody was just, we got to work for the man, we got to be part of the publishing machine. It's all about the pipe. And now you've got Sony with the PlayStation 4 saying, hey, we're going to open this up, we're going to make it more accessible to independent development. They're really reaching out for that. And I think if Microsoft doesn't do the same thing, they're missing a huge, huge opportunity. To me, the exciting future, I think, is in the indie space where we're going to see production values get higher, and I think people are going to be trying a lot of really crazy and interesting ideas. Whereas on the AAA space, I kind of imagine it almost like the Hollywood blockbuster space. They're going to go with proven concepts, proven formulas, and they're going to bring an incredible level of polish and talent to it that other people can't match, but they're going to play it safe. Conceptually, they're not going to go for anything too risky.
So we're going to see Call of Duty 17 in about 6 months? Is what you're saying?
I think it would take them longer than that, but I'm willing to bet they're still running it until 20.
Do you think
how many Final Fantasies have there been? They change every time, but they're making that now.
Yeah, but it always gets more Japanime every time.
True that.
Do you think were we waiting on these distribution platforms such as Beamdog for this indie movement to take over, do you think, or was it more than that?
I think the digital distribution platforms really kind of broke the stranglehold that retail had on everything. I think as well it really radically shifts the economics. I mean, back in the day, you'd make a game that sold for $60 in a store, and as a developer, you'd be lucky to walk out of it with $6 a copy.
Wow.
Whereas you look at the numbers now, I mean, Steam takes its cut, you're walking away with better than 50%. You're happy. You're like,
wow.
I can sell a game for $20 and make more than we used to make on a $60 game.
Yeah, I mean, that drives costs down, sales up. I mean, every time, it's a proven concept, because every time like Steam or any other digital distribution platform has a sale, they even show the charts. The sales go through the roof, man, through the freaking roof every time. It's
the joy of, I mean, digital distribution is so easy. You click a button and it's done. You don't have to get up, get in your car, drive to a store, sift through whatever limited stock they have on the shelves there, and hopefully whatever game you want isn't sold out. Digital distribution, you just go online, you're looking at a website, if they've got a product you want, you buy it. If it's on sale, hey, you jump on it, because it's awesome.
You know, personally, the only thing, I love it, but the only thing I hate is I go out of my way to I hit up all the Goodwills at least once a week to try to find all these really cool old computer game boxes, and I love like all the packaging and the manuals and the little maps that used to come with it. It's so cool, and I do miss that. But you know, I'll take this.
I think what we're going to see is going forward. I think doing really limited run collector's editions will become popular again. I think making a small scale, 1,000 copies, 2,000 copies of an awesome ass-kicking box. That's where I want to go. That's what I want to see.
That'd be very
cool. Go out, and you know what? You can buy the game for X for digital distribution, or you can buy it for 5 times as much in this awesome box. But this box has things you'll never be able to get anywhere else.
Did you guys see the Dead Island's, was it the zombie bait box that was over in the UK? Did you guys see that?
No, I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
It's just like a bust of, some chick's torso, huge boobs, of course, and just all torn to shreds by a zombie. It's so cool. I want one really bad, but they're really rare. It's really cool.
Yeah, I look at all the tchotchke stuff I've got over the years from the titles I shipped. I've got a Baldur's Gate 2 sword.
Oh,
I've got a Shattered Steel lunchbox. I've got an MDK2 toaster.
See, I would try to get into game development just to get the MDK2 toaster.
The toaster's actually a really good toaster. We were using it in the office to make toast.
MDK toast. Can't beat it.
And it wasn't plutonium toast. It was good toast and toast.
Well, that's awesome, man. So my biggest thing, honestly, as far as the gaming industry being the best and worst, I mean, I agree completely with the indie development. I think it will, at least PC gaming, it'll save it. But I have a really hard time with the casualization of a lot of games, especially games that are supposed to be complex. And indie game or indie developers aren't really bound by that as much. But anytime there's like Dragon Age 2 came out or whatever, these games just a phenomenal leap in not being difficult. Even like on harder settings, I felt like I wasn't as badass. And whenever I played Baldur's Gate 1 Enhanced Edition, I got out of the original tutorial area, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go, adventure around. Oh, cool, well, it's a direwolf, that's cool. And, like, I'm a mage. And, no, I had to run away from the direwolf for, like, 3 minutes while my other companion shot arrows at it for like 5 minutes just to like figure it out. And I miss that. I miss not being a badass.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. It pretty much when you first start playing it hands you your ass, and I think that's hilarious because that's how games used to be. It used to be you jumped into something and it was hard and you died, and then you learned why you were dying and you started developing tactics. The difficulty curve in Baldur's Gate is kind of like it goes along and all of a sudden you hit a wall. Once you figure out how to get past that wall, well, later on somebody changes tactics totally. So whatever worked early in the game, suddenly mid-game you've got to change your strategy completely. I look at a lot of like the indie stuff like Super Meat Boy. That's a damn hard game. And that's FTL as well. I mean, that's what makes games fun, is that they're a real challenge and that you go in and you bash at it.
Yeah, and it wasn't just... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry, the over-casualization that you're kind of complaining about, I see that as it's trying to please everybody. And the good rule of thumb is if you're trying to please everybody, you're going to please nobody. You're going to make something that's generic and it just doesn't have... It doesn't feel right. I mean, if you're going to go casual, you should go all out and go casual. If you're going to go more hardcore, you go hardcore.
Yeah,
that's kind of my feeling.
And it's not even that Baldur's Gate and some of these older games, which are why I've been returning to them, are difficult even in a gameplay sense, is that during the story you have to make certain choices just offhand that just change freaking everything. And it's always shades of gray. There's not an exact right or wrong answer. So that makes it difficult in your mind, not just, completely skill-oriented as well.
Yeah, funny enough, in one of the games I really liked for that was Mass Effect 2. I was playing it. My buddy Casey Hudson led it, and I just loved Erdnot Rex, the Krogan guy he had. And it's one point, you got to make some choices, and then your one follower can actually shoot him and kill him. And you're like, what the hell did you do? I like that guy. I want that guy to the end. I'm going to reload this shit. I'm going to re-pick that, because you're not killing my Rex.
You're like spamming F8 in the middle of...
I'm like, that's it. Crazy bitch gets kicked out of my party. No shooting Rex. Rex is awesome.
I personally... that casualization, I'm blaming that on World of Warcraft. That's when I noticed it, and particularly in the MMO space, I just saw everybody just adhere to that model. I saw EverQuest 2 just totally dim itself down. That killed me inside.
That killed a lot of games. That killed Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies kind of also killed itself. But I'm not a huge MMO fan, but I definitely saw the dip at that point.
I think everyone has one great MMO addiction in their life. You get into it and you just become obsessed with it, and you're totally immersed in it. And then after however long it is, could be a year, you suddenly break out and you realize, oh my god, this thing's killing me.
You put on some pants and you go outside.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm level whatever, and do I really care about being level whatever plus one? I don't know. For me, I've played kind of most of the big MMOs that came out, starting back with Ultima Online was kind of my first experience, and that went bad in a hurry. And then after that, EverQuest, and I had a lot of fun with all of them as they went through, and I would always kind of make it, like EverQuest, I made it to level 13, and then I'm like, do I really want to be level 14? Nah, screw it. Quit. Dark Age of Camelot, level 13. Do I want to be nah, screw it. Warcraft comes out, I'm like, level 28. Okay, wait a little farther. Do I want to be 29? Nah. They always have some kind of grind point where it gets really tough.
Well, I played EVE Online, and the big thing about EVE Online is it's not driven by level. You're purely there because somebody at some point within your 14-day trial has pissed you off bad. And all you want to do is go out and find who he is and who he's with and destroy everything about them. And that'll drive you forever.
That's awesome. I tried getting into EVE Online, and I had a guy in the office who was playing it. And I'm like, show me EVE Online. And he's basically got about 3 or 4 spreadsheets open that he's referencing. And I'm like, dude, you're playing a spreadsheet. That's not a game. That's a spreadsheet.
Yeah, spreadsheets in space, man.
Yeah.
What
love the idea of EVE Online. It's the reality of it that doesn't really hook me.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
What do you guys think about Ouya? Have you looked at that? What are your thoughts on that?
I like the concept. I like what they're doing. I like the direction they're going.
Right.
I'm on the fence in terms of will it be successful or not. I think there's a lot of guys who are gunning for that space right now, the whole Android console space.
Sure.
And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Android, easy platform to work with. The hardware is pretty easy to source. Hooking it up to a TV and digital distribution only, it's got to be the way of the future. I think Ouya is kind of the first big mark in that direction, and I'm hoping they'll be successful. And if they are, I think we'll be happy to kind of jump on board and help them out. That one of the perils of being a small team is you can do a million things. There's a million possible business decisions we could make in a day of, yeah, we're going to do these things. But we got the butts and seats to carry at about 3 of them. So it's like,
right.
Where are we putting the sweat today? Because it's got to move us forward. So
I got you.
So hey, since I know Baldur's Gate is multi-platform, and you can actually play across multiple platforms. So if you have an iPad and PC user, they can play together, right?
Correct.
Is there any chance we might be working on cloud saves in the future to where we can hop from platform to platform, or is there a lot more going on?
Currently, we're doing the matching system first. So basically, a game lister, so you can look in your game and you can see through firewalls and such. You can see your buddies' games and then easily join into them. And we've always kind of had cloud saves as a longer-term goal. It being cross-platform in cloud save, that adds another extra layer of wrinkles in it in terms of, well, we can't use iCloud because that doesn't work on Android, and we can't do that. So we've really kind of gone through a number of options. We've done some research on it. We haven't got anything tight in terms of implemented yet, but it's a direction we really want to explore further, and it's something I want to see happen.
Well,
to me, that's kind of like the final frontier of like, I'm playing it on my Android tablet, and I get home and I pick it up on my PC, and then I go to work, and nobody's around. It's the afternoon. I fire it up on my Mac at work, play it for a while, then I go home, pick it back up on my Android tablet on the train home. I just think if we can get there, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, really, you guys, you sprung up. It seems like you pretty much had a game plan. You carried it out. You developed a solid product. As far as the Beamdog side goes, your digital distribution platform, you sell many games. And what's kind of different about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trent, you sell these as you purchase the game, you download the game, and it's kind of self-contained in the sense of you can just double-click and play. Like, there's no installation process, correct?
That was always our goal, is basically make the PC not suck as a digital distribution platform. You see a game you want, you buy it, it just works. And really, when we created Beamdog, it's kind of twofold. It's like, one, let's get independent. Let's be able to just sell our product direct to our fans. Nobody in between us, no bullshit. If somebody's mad at us, they can tell us, we can give them their money back. If somebody's happy with us, they can go and buy some more product from us. And really, the second one was just to really improve the PC experience, make it better to buy software. Because at the time the iPhone had come out, you could click on an icon in a store, press buy, and it would download it, and it would work. During the same timeline on the PC, you'd click to buy something, you'd be asked if you wanted to buy download insurance for $5, and then you'd click on a download, then you'd run an installer, then it'd tell you were missing a bunch of Microsoft shit, then you get mad and get the Microsoft shit. It was a pain in the ass. So we decided, you know what? Let's make it easier. Let's spend some time developing some tech so we can do this. And it's kind of a crazy development period. We went everything from ultra high level web development down to assembly coded launcher programming. So it's a pretty broad spectrum of pieces that were involved in it. And I mean, so far we're really happy with Beamdog. It allowed us to sell Baldur's Gate to a lot of people directly, and sold some other games as well, and so far the feedback's been really positive.
Well, now I have a question, since it is kind of like click and you're ready to go. how does that work with mods in the future? So say I buy Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, and then I buy Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, which will be on Beamdog, I assume, and I want to install a mod that brings those two games together. As you know, there's a few mods that do that. Yep. Does Beamdog have any effect on the modding process? Do I have to develop special modding processes for that?
Baldur's Gate does mods in a pretty interesting way. Most of it uses a program called WeDo, and right now we don't have an easy way. Whenever an update comes out, if anything's in directories that belong to Baldur's Gate, like in the source data, in the data files or in BIFs, it's going to clobber that data with our new data. Whereas we've also got a couple directories where we don't go in and clobber. So as long as the mods are behaving properly and living in the right directories, everything should continue to work. And we're working with the mod guys pretty frequently to try and keep them in the loop in terms of what we're changing, why we're changing it. And we've had a couple times where we went to them and said, "Hey guys, we're thinking about this wonderful new idea," and they're like, "No, you guys are idiots. Don't do that." Like, okay, explain to us why we're idiots. Okay, you're right, we're idiots. We won't go there. And the goal is a better product, a better game for people to enjoy. And if there's stuff that doesn't make sense for us to pursue as a game developer, and modders can pursue it to make the game better for their audience, if we can support them in any way, we're excited about doing that.
What do you think about getting Half-Life 3 on Beamdog, because it's apparently not going to come out on Steam?
I view the chances of that being very slim.
Well, hey, I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. So far, our experience getting any kind of AAA game has been rough. So I think looking forward for Beamdog is going to be about Beamdog and overhaul games.
I think that's a great way to keep it, personally. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the model I'm looking at most of all is kind of the Blizzard's Battle.net model of, hey, you know what, we make good games, we'll sell them direct to our end users, and I think we'll also continue to support other platforms because some people are really loyal to their platform and they want that. But ultimately, with Beamdog, we use it internally for pushing around development builds and everything, so it's always got the latest version of the code, and it's always where the best patches are going to be.
That's awesome.
Well, it works. My biggest thing would be, with a direct competitor would be like Steam. GOG.com is a little bit better about this, but Steam, one day if they're gone, they say they promise, you'll have a chance to get your games or whatever. But here it sounds like you can just grab your game and you're good. With Beamdog, it seems more like an insurance policy.
Yeah, that's kind of what our hope was with Beamdog, was to just literally throw up a server in the internet, leave it up there running. Even if we go out of business, just leave it up and let it serve people who bought it. And you know what? If at some point we can't do that because we totally run out of money, just take your game, copy it to a USB drive or whatever.
Well, Trent, we know you're a busy guy. We definitely appreciate your time, but we won Baldur's Gate 3, so we won't keep you any longer today. Couple things. Everyone, go out to beamdog.com, sign up for an account if you haven't already. I know you have. We're going to actually do a contest. We're going to give away a free game. We're going to give away a copy of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. What we ask is go to iTunes. Go to Everybody Has a Podcast. Search for us on iTunes. The person who can leave us the most colorful, that's how we're going to describe it, the most colorful iTunes review for our podcast is going to get a free copy of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition on Beamdog. So definitely go up there, get a Beamdog account. Trent, as far as finding you online, let's follow Trent on at Trent Oster, Beamdog.com. Trent, is there anything else we're forgetting as far as you want people to follow?
No, I think that's kind of the big ones. If you hit us up on Beamdog.com, or we've got the forum online at Baldur'sGate.com, and that's pretty much where we hang out. I tend to use Twitter more because it's easier and I can quickly bang stuff out. So that's kind of my preferred method of communication with everybody.
And it's cool because I follow his entire team on Twitter, and they'll get right in there and they'll shoot the shit with you. They'll talk to you about things that are going on, good and bad, and they'll just they're very responsive to the community.
Well, so, Trent, you were kind enough to do our podcast based on that, so that just shows you how much this company cares. and how much they want to interact. That's the way it feels on my end. Trent, you are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. We have one last set of questions for you. Yes or no? We ask everybody this on our podcast. Number 1, do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
All right, that's all we've got, Trent. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
No problem. Take care, guys.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much,
day.
Trent. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Half-Life 3 officially being released on Beamdog, as per Trent Oster's statements.
You know, what if Mr. Oster is really just Gabe Newell, and he just lost a shitload of weight? He looks like he looks a lot like the new Oster.
I don't think so, man.
Okay.
What if Trent Oster steps into like a mech, which is Gabe Newell?
Oh man,
Gabe Newell is Trent in like a Men in Black alien suit or something.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. No, we'll bring him back on to confirm or deny these suspicions in the future.
I like that. Oh, dude. Well, Clark, I'm still coming down from my nerd high, man. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't really think we have time for news. The news is
that Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Trent is a super nice guy. Once again, thank you so much to him. Once again, everybody, check out our contest. Go on iTunes, leave us a colorful review, sign up for a Beamdog account, and we're going to send you a free copy of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. I don't think you little 22-year-olds can handle that game. I just really don't. Prove me wrong, though. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. All right, well, hey, everybody, once again, thanks for listening to Everybody Has a Podcast. Check us out, everybodyhasapodcast.com, facebook.com/everybodyhasapodcast, twitter.com/everybodypod. Tune in next week where we get into a rap battle with Betty White.
Can't be taken back.